I have already shown you how to make millions per run in my Easy Money Von mission guide. If you haven't yet seen it, in the video description pinned comment is the link for you. What I haven't shown you yet is how to make a fortune in a PvP environment, specifically buying and selling drugs for an insane profit each time. So let's get into Jumptown. Now this time I can't call it the easy money tutorial because the danger of losing money to another player is always lurking around the corner. But that's what a PvP event such as Jumptown typically will do. Of course you can do cooperative play with others too, but the chance of hostile encounters is tremendously much higher here than most any other place, at least for so long as we don't have pyro yet. Therefore, I would not advise you guys to go there with your ship alone and fill your storage with expensive Therefore, I would not advise anybody to fill their entire ship's ship storage out of the blue with expensive drugs on their own. This is something you'll do with backup. And this is also where the fun starts. And in this case here, another player was currently about to fill his storage with drugs that he was transporting right there. And of course, me doing PvP in a PvP event, I wasn't hesitating, I immediately opened fire and went after the guy. Now, I got him killed pretty shortly after, he didn't really make it away, and yeah, I made sure he's not coming back. Now, his boxes and his loot is all mine now, because, you know, that's Jumptown for you. And there is a machine here that will continuously produce boxes of drugs for you, that you can all gather and put them into your ship, right? But what I'm referring to here with this guide is not even wasting your time doing that, because the longer you're here, the higher the chance more people will show up. What I'm looking for is this red console here to the right, because that thing actually sells you drugs, and a lot of them. 20 SCU for Widow and Slam, and there's also Ultratoxin. Depends on what's currently available and what isn't. Once you buy everything out, you see here I'm buying it for 200k, the Widow. And it's already into my ship. I don't even have to transport anything. Then for 250k, we're buying Slam. Now, of course, those aren't gigantic numbers. You're not gonna make 3 millions per run with this, but you make a pretty decent amount of, constant flow of money that you're gonna have. And you can also, of course, transport the other drug things that you have here, and, you know, deliver them as well. But you don't really have to, they're not worth as much as the stuff that I've already loaded. So, back into the Corsair, let's lift off here. Like I said, my friend was, oh no, I didn't say that yet, but my friend was doing security over the station in the meantime. Like I said, you better have somebody giving you backup. And that, in this case, I believe Briar's Baker Yard was already on the same planet, the location for me to sell the drugs. Now, don't get me wrong, anything can go wrong anywhere here, because this is a PvP event. There could be a group of players sitting at Briars, there could be a group of players sitting at Jumptown, and at no given time are you actually safe. But we learned that we are currently in control of both places, so yeah. Remember Slam we bought for 250 or 240k and we sold it for 300. And I believe Widow we bought for 194,000, yeah, also that will be sold here for 260,000. So on this run, it was like 120 or 150k, maybe even 200k. I didn't really calculate everything here now. Maybe it was 200k per this run, because we also had a few single boxes from the drugs inside as well. And that was like 10 minutes. It wasn't longer than 10 minutes, and 200k for 10 minutes is a pretty good time. Now, of course, let's be real here. You can't always have this frequency going. There's going to be PvP in between. There will be interruptions. There may be sometimes it could be that you get destroyed in a fight where there's too much going on, right? And it is not realistic to say you're gonna have 200k every 10 minutes. You can have that if the server is empty, and if you have a buddy there who's taking control of the airspace over it, making sure nothing bad is gonna happen, then you can actually have that kind of income. And if you split it with your friend, it's still gonna be 100k per 10 minutes, and it's pretty good, right? You could technically search for an empty server. Here, for example, I was waiting for my friend to show up, and an Inferno, Ares Inferno came around. And of course, it didn't stand the slightest chance here, because I already started firing before he was even ready for it. technically an Ares Inferno is kind of made to destroy a Corsair, so technically I could have lost this fight if he had played differently, better, but I feel like I caught him pretty ice cold there. He was not expecting that attack, and that gave me the easy advantage to win. And even if he was playing well, a Corsair is still a really tough enemy to beat, especially when he's flying decoupled away from you and making it very difficult for you to circle around it. Now, you see the guy came actually out of his ship. He's still alive. I went into sniper mode, and I was trying to snipe him away here, and I even hit him. I hit him, and he flew away. But it's so ridiculous. I hit him, and he flew away to the top right. And then it lags, bloop, and he sits almost underneath the ship and only needs to go 2 meters to get in safety. But I hit him with those heavy lasers from the Corsair and the guy did not die. Like, how the heck is that possible? But yeah, I often found that ship lasers don't really kill people very effectively. My friend was there with his, I believe the F7A, yep, F7A he's got, and he was shooting in there from, he saw him underneath the ship, and I decided that, you know what? Let's take the time. We're not really here to make a lot of money now and have the highest frequency of earning. We came there for the PvP, so yeah, and there he is. You see him there, he's sitting there underneath his ship. He doesn't really know what to do. I mean, he's basically checkmate at that point. But yeah, so I also took his gear, by the way. I stored it all in my ship. His S71 or SR71 or what's the name of that gun. I have it in my hand now. So yeah, PvP for you, right? If you enjoy that, this is what you can do. Now, we came back here, and by the way, sometimes it seems like you can't buy it. It will refuse to give you the stuff, and that's when you don't buy all at once. You basically buy all -1. This is what you do. If I buy all at once, it will say failed, but if you always buy only a portion or everything -1, it will work for some reason. So yeah, I filled the storage of my ship as far as I can, just using everything -1. I didn't collect any waste, obviously. What would I want with that? But yeah, then we fly back to Briars, right? And that's rinse and repeat, making easy money and shooting down everything you can find. This guy was actually even firing at me already, so we were having a battle going on. But then I realized he was shooting backwards at me. That means there has to be at least a second player on his ship firing back. But that C2, or sorry, it's an A2, is not having a good time. We were both on him, and I mean, at this point, he's close to the ground. That means he can't jump away. He's pretty well shielded for a ship this size, but you know, against the firepower of a Corsair, you're already pretty bummed. And then coming this F7A on top of that, yeah, that's a pretty bad spot for you to be in. And both players didn't really have much of a chance here, and they just got destroyed. So, yeah, but not everybody knows this is a PvP-focused event, you know? Some people just try it or want to see what's going on there, or they just think they can pull it off without having any encounters, you know? I mean, there are some people who really... They take the risks and they say, screw it, if we get attacked, we die. Final. Finish, right? And here we're selling once more everything we've collected into the Corsair. I got 20 SCU Slam and Widow again and some Mace. This is typically what you get. Mace, by the way, is the most valuable. The only one that would be more valuable is Gasping Weevil Eggs, but there were none of those that I could get there on this. And the Mace is typically what you get in these small transportable boxes that you'll carry. Okay, and the more you fit into your ship, the more money you can make. So if you have full control over Jumptown, why not? You can stay there and just keep, you know, filling up your ship and then sell a big load. But even then, I would say it's probably maybe lucrative to send 1 or 2 of your guys out to every 10 minutes or 15 minutes when the stock refreshes on the red terminal. Just buy everything there, fill it in, and get on your way to sell. Or have a large ship there, like a C2, and just every 50 minutes fill it with everything the terminal can sell you, and at the same time, you know, filling it with the maze boxes as well. Just take some more time and then have a 1 or 2 million sale later. I also, of course, here, as I said, it's a PvP event. We're having a lot more PvP combat going on here. I was fighting the F7A here with my Corsair. Like I said, guys, don't underestimate the Corsair. You may be much more fast and nimble with your ship, but if the Corsair flies decoupled and it's back strafing, it's gonna make it very difficult for you to fly fast around it. As long as you have boost, you might be able to pull it off, but as soon as your boost ends, this is when you're no longer going to be able to get around it. And you don't want to be in the front of a Corsair, especially not the one that I have running here with Omnisky weapons, because this is kind of the PvP loadout with pretty fast lasers that hit you, still with a really high amount of damage output, pretty reliably. If they are running F6As, F7As, laser cannons, of course, then you can pretty much easily outplay any Corsair, or when they're running deadbolts. The ammo with 900 meters per second is just not fast enough for them to really hit you, if you know what you're doing. But the Omniskys changed that. They are fast enough to really score good hits, and repeaters... I like repeaters from the speed with their 1,800 meters per second. Pretty good weapon to hit fast targets, but the problem is they do no damage. So in this patch circle we have right now, the repeaters are pretty much dead. There's just no damage in them, if you ask me. So Omnisky currently the best way to go with. By the way how our run ended is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I was empty, I already sold my stuff, so it doesn't really matter, but look at the amount of rockets these freaking NPCs are firing. Like, what the heck? They're firing like every 3 seconds 4 or 5 rockets at me. I don't know that NPCs do that. And now look what happens. This is the end of our video and how I died. From a freelancer. A single rocket that made it through, hit my cockpit, and shot me with the area splash explosion damage from the rocket out of my own cockpit. With full shields and everything, I just died from a single tiny mini rocket. Boom, death. Oh boy. Anyway, see you in the next video. Manny signing off. Bye bye, my friends.